Hello and a very warm welcome. Thanks for tuning in to News 9, your favorite news destination. You're watching Game On with me, Kabir Naqvi, and we've got a power pack show that's lined up for you. Of course, we're going to be talking about the match report, the first semi-final, the thumping victory that India is now resounding to when we're looking at the Champions Trophy. But that's not all. Stephen Smith, he's hung up his gloves, if I could put it that way. And we're also going to be throwing some light on Champions League football and Formula One as well. But let's get cracking first and foremost to that India versus Australia match now, shall we? Now, India reached the final of the Champions Trophy with a tense 4-wicket victory over Australia. This was in the first semi-final, which took place on Tuesday after Virat Kohli starred in yet another successful chase. The king of chases is what they call him. Virat Kohli gave another masterclass on how to bat under pressure in a run chase as he produced a match-winning knock that sent India into the final, leading an injury-depleted Australia side with a second-string attack. Steve Smith elected to bat right after winning the toss, mind you. And Varun Chakravarti, part of the team's 4-pronged spin attack. We went heavy on spin. 4 of the spinners on our playing 11. This 4-pronged spin attack dismissed India's nemesis, Travis Head, for just 39 runs. And then Steve Smith, he got a reprieve when he defended an Akshar Patel delivery and the ball rolled on to hit the stumps but could not dislodge the bails. A gasping moment for everybody here, at least in the newsroom. And then he got another lifeline when Mohammad Shami spilled a second return catch for Stephen Smith. Ravindra Jadeja had to come in. He dismissed Marnus Labuschagne and Josh Inglis, and then Mohammad Shami returned to flatten Stephen Smith's off stump with a full toss delivery after the batter had charged out to hit him for a big boundary. But that wasn't the case. Alex Carey, he came in next and was run out just when Australia looked quite settled, quite set for a late acceleration, and they eventually collapsed with 3 deliveries left in their innings to play for. Stephen Smith's counterpart, Rohit Sharma, proved equally lucky when India began their own chase and was dropped twice, not just once, but 2 times, though he could not quite capitalize on those missed opportunities at the hands of Australia. Shubman Gill was less lucky, even less luckier than Rohit Sharma, and dragged a wide bend Dwarshuis delivery onto his own stumps, knocked out for just 11 runs. Shreyas Iyer, combining with Virat Kohli, the 2 anchors that we needed on that crucial night to put India's chase back on track, and that's exactly what happened. Glenn Maxwell, he dropped Virat Kohli soon after the batter completed his 50, but Adam Zampa broke the 91-run stand when he bowled Shreyas Iyer out. But Virat Kohli, he continued to guide the men in blues, hitting a brilliant 84 runs, a crucial 84 runs that helped India chase down a tricky target of 265, something that's not an easy feat when you're talking about the headlights at the Dubai Stadium. Virat Kohli hit only 5 boundaries in his disciplined knock as he focused more on risk-free accumulation of runs after India slumped to 43 runs for 2 wickets in just the 8th over as part of the first power play. It was similar to his match-winning 100 against Pakistan, if you remember, which contained only 7 fours, even lesser this time around. And just as he looked good for another 100, Virat Kohli, well, he holed out in the deep in the 43rd over, injecting fresh excitement into the contest. Hardik Pandya hit 3 sixes, mind you, to ease the pressure on India, and KL Rahul then finally sealed the victory, hitting Glenn Maxwell over the ropes for his 42-run innings. What a great, great match this actually was, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Virat Kohli's childhood coach, Rajkumar Sharma, was among the first one to congratulate the team on the exciting win. Here's how cricket experts and fans across the length and breadth of the country reacted to India's entry into the Champions Trophy final. Mind you, our 3rd Champions Trophy final on the trot.
बहुत ही बेहतरीन प्रदर्शन रहा है पूरी टीम का। शानदार प्रदर्शन करके भारत चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी के फाइनल में पहुंचा है और सबसे बड़ी बात है कि हमने ऑस्ट्रेलिया को हराया सेमीफाइनल में, जिनसे हम लेटली काफी मैचेस हार चुके थे आईसीसी ट्रॉफी में। तो ये जीत इसलिए और ज्यादा स्पेशल बन गई है। विराट ने बहुत ही शानदार पारी खेली और वो ऐसी पारियां देश के लिए बहुत सारी खेल चुका है, सभी जानते हैं, तभी सब उसको इतना ज्यादा लाइक करते हैं, इतना प्यार करते हैं और उनको किंग कोहली कहा जाता है, क्योंकि बड़े स्टेज पे जब भी बड़ा मैच होता है, मैंने हमेशा कहा है कि वो बड़े मैच का बड़ा प्लेयर है, जो कि उसने कल भी करके दिखाया, और दिखाया कि जितना टफ अपोजिशन होता है वो उतने ही अच्छी बल्लेबाजी करता है, मेंटली वो बहुत स्ट्रांग है, और कई बार 2-4 इनिंग के बाद इधर उधर की आवाजें उठने लगती हैं। तो मैं यही कहना चाहता हूं कि क्लास इज परमानेंट, फॉर्म इज टेम्परेरी, और जो उनका कंट्रीब्यूशन है इंडियन क्रिकेट के लिए वो सभी जानते हैं, और जानते हैं कि उन्होंने देश को कितना मैचेस जिताए हैं। बहुत शानदार प्रदर्शन रहा है भारतीय टीम का। मैं वहां 2 मैचेस के लिए था, बांग्लादेश और पाकिस्तान वाले मैच में मैं दुबई में था, और बहुत अच्छा माहौल है भारतीय ड्रेसिंग रूम का, बहुत मोरल हाई है, और मोमेंटम अब भारत के साथ है। जिस तरह सभी लोग कंट्रीब्यूट कर रहे हैं, भले टॉप ऑर्डर है, मिडिल ऑर्डर है, या जिस तरह हमारे स्पिनर्स बॉलिंग कर रहे हैं, मोहम्मद शमी जैसी गेंदबाजी कर रहे हैं, तो मुझे पूरी आशा है कि भारत ये चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी जरूर जीतेगा।
More than proud here because wherever we go, India, East or West, India is the best. And Australia semi-final, we have seen in 2007 World Cup, 2011 quarterfinals. Australians are good, but they do really choke. We talk about South Africans, but today we saw they are not good enough. They have to really work hard. Indian cricket is way ahead of the league. We have bench strength. The domestic league system is so good. I think Indian cricket is far ahead of any association. So I am so proud that I could be a part of the Indian cricket team.
बहुत बड़ी जीत है जी। बड़े समय से इस जीत का हमें इंतजार था, और जो 50 और फाइनल वर्ल्ड कप में ऑस्ट्रेलिया ने भारत को शिकस्त दी थी, ये अच्छा ही मौका था वो बराबरी करने का, वो बदला लेने का। भारत ने लिया, अच्छी बल्लेबाजी की। 265 का लक्ष्य उतना आसान नहीं था इस विकेट के ऊपर, क्योंकि बाद में विकेट धीरे धीरे स्लो होता रहता। और जिस तरह से भारत की बल्लेबाजी है, सारे एक्सपीरियंस प्लेयर हैं, बड़ा अच्छा उन्होंने अपनी गेम को बैकअप किया, प्रॉपर इन विकेट्स को संभाल के रखा, और इस चेज और इतना बड़ा टारगेट नहीं था, लेकिन उतना आसान भी नहीं था। और जो प्रेशर सिचुएशंस होती हैं, टेंस सिचुएशन होती हैं, उसमें अपने पारी को बड़ा खूबसूरती से संभाला, और आसानी से भारत को एक सेमीफाइनल्स में एक बड़ी जीत दिलाएगी। अब भारत फाइनल्स में आपको ट्रॉफी दिख रही है, इस टाइम जीत रही। बड़ा समय हो गया कि चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी 2017 के बाद आ रही है, वहां फाइनल्स में हम लोग नहीं जीत पाए थे, पर अब यहाँ पे भारत के पास वो मौका है कि साउथ अफ्रीका आए चाहे न्यूजीलैंड आए, ट्रॉफी तो अब भारत के पास।
इंडिया बहुत ही बढ़िया खेले हैं इधर में आपका दुबई में, और ऑस्ट्रेलिया रियल इट वाज दे हैव गिवन अ रियल फाइट बैक, और वी आर डिलाइटेड जो हमें फाइनल में पहुंचे हैं, एंड 100% हम ट्रॉफी लेके हम इंडिया आएंगे।
छक्के साथ एकदम हाँ जीत गए। दैट्स अमेजिंग, दैट्स इंडिया फॉर यू। आई फील इंडिया इज अ लैंड ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटीज, एंड आई थिंक वी हैव प्रूव्ड इट अनदर टाइम दैट वी कैन डू इट।
ऑस्ट्रेलिया ने जो पिछली बार भारत को हराया था, इसका बदला भारत जरूर लेगा। ऑस्ट्रेलिया को हरा करके भारत सेमीफाइनल में पहुंचा है, हम सबको बहुत खुशी है, हम लोग खुशी मना रहे हैं। और इंडिया की सेमीफाइनल में जीतने के बाद, फाइनल में पहुंचने के बाद निश्चित रूप से फाइनल में भी जीतेगा, और ये ट्रॉफी लेकर के आएगा इंडिया।
Now there's another aspect that needs to be looked at. Australia captain Stephen Smith played down the venue advantage to India after being comprehensively beaten by 4 wickets in the first semi-final of the ongoing Champions Trophy in Dubai. India playing at one venue has been a hot topic for debate amongst former cricketers and some sections of the fans as well. When Australian captain was asked about this issue, he said India deserved to win and that they were outplayed. He said, and I quote, "Yeah, look, I'm not buying into it. I think it is what it is. India obviously played some really good cricket here. The surface kind of suits their style with the spinners that they've got and the seamers that they have at their disposal for a wicket like that. They played well, they outplayed us, and they deserved the victory." I unquote. That's what Stephen Smith had to say. Meanwhile, Steve Smith, who led Australia in the Champions Trophy as stand-in skipper, also announced his retirement from one-day international cricket after his team's 4-wicket loss to India in the first semi-final of the ongoing Champions Trophy. The veteran batter will continue to play Test and T20 internationals meanwhile. The 35-year-old, who was leading the world champion side in the absence of an injured Pat Cummins, informed his teammates right after the match that he would be stepping away from the 50-over format with immediate effect. Reflecting on his own decision, Smith said it was the right time to step aside as Australia build themselves for the 2027 ODI World Cup. Smith said, and I quote, "It has been a great ride and I have loved every minute of it. There have been so many amazing times and wonderful memories. Winning 2 World Cups was a great highlight along with many fantastic teammates who shared the journey. Now is a great opportunity for people to start preparing for the 2027 World Cup, so it feels like the right time to make way, I unquote. Now, Stephen Smith, he's definitely left behind a stellar ODI legacy built over a period of more than 15 years since making his debut as a leg-spinning all-rounder against the West Indies back in 2010. And over the years, he has transformed into one of Australia's most dependable batters, accumulating 5,800 runs at an average of 43.28, including 12 centuries and 35 half-centuries. He also chipped in with 28 wickets at 34.67. That's the prime rate of his bowling figures as well. And Stephen Smith, he's been a key member of Australia's 2015 and 2023 ICC World Cup Championship teams. Smith was named Australia's Men's ODI Player of the Year back in 2015 and in 2021 and earned a place on the ICC Men's ODI Team of the Year in the year 2015 as well. And in less than 40 minutes, all Champions Trophy final wickets were sold out on the official website on Tuesday. That's right. The tickets went on sale at 10 p.m. That's UAE time. And all of them, from the general admission to the skybox, they were gone by 10:40 p.m. After a riveting match between India and Australia in Dubai on Tuesday, with Virat Kohli consistently sticking around for 84 runs, Indian cricket fans have been eagerly looking forward to watching the men in blue play another exciting game in the Champions Trophy final. On Tuesday, more than 1 lakh people were waiting in queue to access the ticketing page at 10 p.m. There were 12 categories of tickets that went on sale, and even the most expensive tickets priced at rupees 3 lakhs, they were sold out instantly as well. Once the website made the tickets accessible, buyers were placed in a queue and had 10 minutes to access the website each. It went up in about 40 minutes' time. Well, away from cricket now to the world of football. UEFA Champions League upon us. Some crucial matches that are expected to take place today and some crucial good games that were played out last evening as well. Let's break that down for all our viewers. Kylian Mbappe, he couldn't find his stride, and that's not the first time we're hearing this. Vinicius Jr. wasn't much of a threat either. It was Brahim Diaz, meanwhile, receiving the standing ovation from the Real Madrid fans on Tuesday. Starting because of a suspension to Jude Bellingham, Brahim Diaz came through for Madrid in a 2-1 first-leg win over Atletico Madrid in the round of 16 of the Champions League. It was a stuttering capital derby between bitter rivals who at times looked to be playing within themselves, seemingly conserving some energy for what is likely to be a compelling return leg at Atletico's Metropolitano Stadium next week. Ibrahim Diaz scored a second-half winner in a scrappy first leg of their Champions League round of 16 tie after Julian Alvarez had cancelled out Rodrigo's opener. Both those goals, worldies and world-class stunners. Now, Real Madrid started on fire when Rodrigo scored a fine opener just 4 minutes after kickoff, but Atletico slowly got back into rhythm, got back into the game, and Julian Alvarez equalized with a stunning strike in the 32nd minute right at the edge of the box. Real Madrid got the winner in the 55th minute through Brahim Diaz, who worked his magic again to find a tiny pocket of space inside a crowded box and slotted a low-angle strike inside Jan Oblak's far post. 2-1 first leg score between Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid.
Rodrigo and Brahim were the top performers because they worked hard. They contributed a lot to the team. The team was well organized and compact. We didn't pressure too much. Our idea wasn't to pressure them a lot, but you can pressure when the team is well organized. I think Atletico controlled the game at times and we did at other points, but we created a lot of chances. First of all, I'm very happy with my performance. Like I've just said, this competition is very special. I feel like I have a special relationship with it. Things always happen for me in this competition. It is a very good relationship. It was a very difficult match, but now we have an advantage and I think we have to make the most of it. It's minimal. We could have scored more goals, but...
Meanwhile, a fired-up Arsenal thrashed PSV Eindhoven 7-1 away at Eindhoven in the first leg of the Champions League last 16 tie on Tuesday after rattling in 3 goals in a 13-minute spell in the first half and then ruthlessly adding 4 more goals right after the break. Hurrien Timber opened the scoring in the 18th minute, followed by a strike from teenager Ethan Nwaneri before Mikel Merino added the third in the 31st minute, the first in the 13-minute spell. The Dutch champions pulled one back with the Noah Lang penalty for a 3-1 half-time deficit, but 2 goals in the opening 3 minutes right after the break again reinforced Arsenal's dominance, with captain Martin Odegaard and Leandro Trossard scoring those 2 goals. Odegaard got his second goal in the 73rd minute before substitute Riccardo Calafiori netted the 7th 5 minutes from time to complete the rout at the Philips Stadion. Arsenal registered their biggest away win in European club competition and put themselves in a virtually unassailable position to advance to the quarter-finals of the Champions League, where they will meet either Atletico Madrid or Real Madrid. Let's see what happens in that second leg. It was the first time PSV had conceded 7 goals at home, and also the first time any Dutch club had let in 7 in a European game tie.
I really enjoyed the match. So thank you to the players for the performance that they put in a big night for us against a really good side. The way they went through in the last round against Juventus was really impressive. So the manner that we've done it, the way we played, the goals that we scored, thank you, because it was a special night. Well, it's very significant, but it's just, to put yourself in a position, in a really strong position to go through to the next round. And that's it. That's the reality. To put landmarks, we have to really make it to a very different level. But obviously, this team has done a lot that hasn't been done in many, many years or in the history of the club, which means a lot. But that's not what we want.
Now to talk about the upcoming fixtures. You've got Liverpool coach Arne Slot, who said on Tuesday that he was expecting a great fixture as his squad arrived in Paris to face Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League last 16, adding that both teams, Liverpool and PSG, have several similarities that will make the 2-legged tie quite difficult. PSG coach Luis Enrique had earlier called Liverpool's attackers fighter jets, but Slot was quick to point out that speed, PSG's Bradley Barcola, Ousmane Dembele and Ashraf Hakimi, that's what speed actually accounts for. Arne Slot also said it remains uncertain whether Liverpool forward Cody Gakpo will feature in the French capital, but the Dutch forward had travelled with the squad and a call is going to be made on Wednesday before the match actually takes place. Asked about tensions with referee Mikel Oliver, Slot said that he was quite emotional for everything that had happened during their Premier League match against Everton. Slot was shown a red card, mind you, after the final whistle and admitted to a charge of acting in an improper manner and using insulting or abusive words or behaviour towards Michael Oliver, the referee, and an assistant referee for that Liverpool versus Everton Merseyside derby.
It's a great fixture to look forward to for everyone who loves football. Both teams scored so many goals this season. Quite similar playing styles, maybe not completely, but the ideas are quite similar. Both teams like to have the ball. Both teams work really hard without the ball. So I can come up with 6, 7, or 8 similar things that both teams are doing. So yeah, interesting fixture to look forward to. We preferred probably to play against Benfica instead of Paris Saint-Germain, but this is also a great fixture to play. It's a great stadium to play. If you are playing at Liverpool, you want to play the big games, and this is definitely a big game again for us. So, so yes, we have to accept what the draw is, and it's for both teams are facing a very strong opponent. Not only us, they as well.
Meanwhile, Barcelona return to action in the UEFA Champions League knockout tomorrow night and will look to do away with the curse that they have been facing in the knockout stage of the competition in the recent years. Barcelona have made a trip to Lisbon for the first leg of their Champions League round of 16 tie against Benfica at the Estadio da Luz on Wednesday night. Barca are favourites in this tie, but will know it's not an easy path for them. The last time these two particular teams met in the league phase in a 9-goal classic, the Catalan needed a 96th minute winner from Rafinha to ensure the 3 points go to them. So getting over Benfica will take a monumental effort from Hansi Flick and his troops. Benfica will again come out all guns firing against the Catalans. Heading into tomorrow's clash, all eyes will thus be on whether Hansi Flick makes any changes to his defensive setup and how he counters the known threat. Ronald Araujo started the team's last game, but Inigo Martinez will almost certainly return alongside Pau Cubarsí to keep the offside trap alert and well executed. Barcelona's aim tomorrow should be on conceding as few goals as possible and even perhaps taking home a win to build on at home for the second leg. Moving on, shifting our focus to Formula One as well. That first opening weekend is also pretty much upon us. Formula One champions McLaren, they're still going to be the team to beat when the season starts in Australia next week, said Ferrari's own Charles Leclerc after the test drive and after the test driving in Bahrain. McLaren edged Ferrari, who now have 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton on board as well, to the title by 14 points last season as they were crowned champions for the first time in 26 years. Formula One data indicated the walking-based team were quicker than Ferrari on low fuel, with a slightly smaller advantage on race pace in the testing week in Bahrain just last week. Leclerc was full of praise for his new teammate Lewis Hamilton, who will be chasing a record 8th title at the age of 40.
I feel like McLaren remains the team to beat. However, it's very difficult to have to be sure of the picture given in tests, because we have no idea on what fuel level they're running and everything. But our testing went pretty well. We went through our program, which is the most important. We didn't have any bad surprises, which is good as well. But the performance remains to be seen next week once we get into Australia for qualifying. We are all super motivated to be starting this new season. Obviously, with Lewis, there was quite a lot of attention around the team this winter break, but it's great. It's normal. I mean, he's a legend of the sport and joining the most iconic team of the sport. So it's normal that it is that way. On my side, I've just been focusing on myself, trying to push as much as I could during this winter break to be as ready as possible for this year. And I feel ready. And everybody seems to be very motivated. So I'm looking forward to it.
So the drivers are locked in, the grid is ready. Australia opening weekend just next week, known for its dramatic opening races. We're going to see what happens in Australia, but that's all the time we have for you in this edition of Game On. Top developments right on the other side. Keep watching News 9.